Hello everyone, it's Kevin here again. I decided to make this a mixed media painting. So I started off with drawing the tiger, then I went over that with a felt pen, and now I am painting in watercolors. I used felt pen because of the thickness of the stripes, and I thought it would take too long to do in an ordinary pen. It's quite a big assignment getting the stripes in the right place and to make them look realistic. But I think I managed it all right. So I thought I'd start down at the bottom there with the front legs and get started on those. So it's dab, dab, dab down there in the shadow area of the front legs. And they actually have very few stripes compared to the rest of the animal. So it was just a matter of going around the edges there and trying to render it correctly. So I put the feet in there to start with, and of course it takes a while for it to take shape. But they're certainly a beautiful animal. And so the next part of the tiger was the nose area, which I would put in. I got a wee bit of hair in the way there, but never mind, it happens to the best of us. So it's starting to take shape. I'm just putting in the colour where it needs to be put in. Most of the colour is on the top and down the side of the legs. I wanted to paint a picture that had a bit of drama in it, and I think I achieved, well, I hope I achieved some type of drama. I've got the dog shaking his fur again in the background. So he's just woken up and he wants a bit of attention. But now that I've started this recording, I don't want to stop in the middle of it, so I've got to keep going. So it sort of indicates that the tiger might have just come out of the jungle and is creeping up on its prey, because it's in a sort of ready to go stance, ready to pounce. So on that side is a bit of shade, it's a bit darker, just behind the animal's ear and mane. It seems to be a fiddly sort of idea with putting the colour into the features, but it's not as hard as what you might seem. It just takes perseverance. It's a matter of getting the right colours in their place. I've got a window there at the side, so you can see where the light's coming in. It's throwing a bit of light from one side to the other. Thankfully it's a sunny day, so it's putting enough light on the picture. So down the side of the body there's the colour comes right about 2/3 of the way down. And then at the bottom there's white. It certainly is well camouflaged, I imagine. When it's in the savanna, it can creep around in the undergrowth and appear without warning in front of an animal that's grazing. And I imagine that not many animals get away, certainly with the stealth and the speed of this tiger. So I have to fill in the top part there because that area there is full of colour, which helps it to blend in with the atmosphere and the grasses that it roams through. And of course it's got a bit of a shadow there underneath the rear leg, the back. I'm purposely not putting each hair in, but just suggesting where the fur is, rather than trying to put everything into fine detail. I feel that as long as it looks like a tiger, it is a tiger. So in this area here, there's a bit of a ray of light shining to expose its muscle just there. And along the top it's very light because the sun's shining directly onto the top. This is actually a pen and wash, so it's a matter of using the pen with the wash, and the pen is fairly dominant in parts, and the paint is dominant in some other parts, which gives it a balance, I feel. And at the same time, it's not a photograph. It's just a rendering of a tiger in a painting. So I'm just trying to get the underneath part there put in. Give it a bit of a shadow on that part. So it's all coming together. Underneath there is a heavy shadow. So I want to indicate too that there's a wee bit of shadow on both sides of the leg, on both legs. Down there. I want to make sure that it gets enough light on the back coming down. I wanted to put a bit of pink in there to indicate the tongue. So with these ones, it's just step by step. It's just a matter of getting the outline done first, and I think that's a big help. because then that makes it a lot easier to fill in the rest. I wanted to make sure that there was a bit more definition in the stripes, and particularly around the eyes. So that's why I'm coming down there with the pen again to try and define that a bit more. It's probably an unusual combination of the felt pen and the watercolor, but I just felt that on this occasion anyway, that it needed to have stronger lines to start off with. So the mane's fairly bulky, and it's what gives it the fearsome look. I'm just touching up the parts underneath there to give it a bit more definition. It's fairly dark in the shade there. So I might just go over the lines and soften them up a wee bit. Because the mane is white, putting white whiskers over the whiskers wouldn't be seen, so I decided to put them in grey. That's one thing about being an artist, you can make the changes where you need to make them. Mind you, it doesn't look perfect, but I decided on this occasion that it needed something to bring out the lines on of the of the whiskers. Of course, watercolor's a bit of a balancing act, trying to get the right amount of water with the right amount of pigment, and sometimes it's a difficult one. But I'm just going to persevere with the strategy that I've decided to do at the moment, and hopefully it'll come out all right. But it's my particular rendition of it, and probably a unique one. At the end of the day, but there you are. So, going over the tiger at the end is when things will be tidied up and maybe some will be changed or adapted or left the way they are. It all depends. It just takes looking at the subject and deciding what can I do to change it or make it better or improve it in some way. And I think it's coming out all right. Yes, I had a wee bit of a problem with the gap in between the legs there, and it proved to be a wee bit of a problem. So what I did is I got some acrylic white paint and made that, completed that hole so that it would look like that the two legs are apart from each other. It's a matter of adapting. I've used acrylic paint in the past, and so I'm quite used to it. And it's probably not as good as gouache, and in that situation, as gouache is fairly opaque, and might have done a better job in that circumstance. but I just needed to fix it up. And then, of course, the colour of the eyes is supposed to be green. I think I got a wee bit of Payne's grey in the mix, and they didn't come out as bright as I had hoped. So I just chalked that down to experience, and the next tiger I do will be better. And here we are with a bit more acrylic paint again to reduce that black stripe down, because I felt that it was just a little bit overpowering just there, and too much, and stood out too much. And so I had to tone that down a wee bit. I haven't got any white watercolor paint, so I have to use acrylic in the meantime. But sometimes we have to adapt when things go funny, and that's exactly what I've been doing. Just adapting and trying to improve the picture as I go along. Watercolors like that. There can be a fix somewhere there. And so just doing the final touches really. I hope you will subscribe and like if you're getting some value out of these videos. As I'm endeavouring to improve them as I go along and bring some more dynamic subjects that are of interest to you. So I'm just touching up a wee bit of the black, or the shadow, the darker shadow areas down there, to define it a little against the background. I could have painted in a colour in blue or green or something like that, but on this occasion I decided to leave it with a plain white background. So that's it for now. So until next time, cheerio for now. Bye-bye.